Welcome back to Impact, and now we are on to the government segment with Nick Barber.
The government segment, that's me.
Yes.
My guest is John Woodward, the Schenectady County Clerk, and John Woodward will be telling us about, well, the title is The County Clerk and You, but all the different programs and responsibilities of the County Clerk's office, including the recent Veterans Benefit Card that has been issued through county clerks throughout New York State. So this should be interesting, and you'll see how your county clerk's office affects you. And veterans pay particular attention.
Absolutely, and I actually saw John Woodward's name at the DMV office. So when you go to the DMV office to get your license, you will see his name out on the door, and with position comes responsibility. So what a great amount of responsibility must this guy have.
They do. All
Yep.
the county clerks throughout New York. And John was the president of the New York State Association. So let's watch this interview with myself and John Woodward, the Schenectady County Clerk.
Up next.
Welcome to the government segment of Impact. I'm your host, Nick Barber, and today our guest is John Woodward, the Schenectady County Clerk. Welcome, John.
Thank you. Thanks
How
for
are you
having
today?
me. Thank you for having
Good
me.
to see you. John, the county clerk's office is sort of similar throughout New York State, but it has many, many functions. So each county has a county clerk, but what do they do? Everybody thinks of county clerk as just license plates or motor vehicle.
Yeah, most people identify us with the Department of Motor Vehicles, but the truth of the matter is our DMV responsibilities are only about a third of what we do. We're also the constitutional clerk of the courts, which means that we handle the paperwork associated with the civil or criminal matters in front of the county court or the New York State Supreme Court. And this is a duty given to us by the state constitution. So a lot of my day is comprised with dealing with court matters. We're also the land recorder for all the various land records for the county. There are over 60,000 parcels in Schenectady County. And the clerk's office is really designated as a place to have a centralized location for the average citizen being able to find out who owns a piece of property or who has a mortgage on a piece of property or whatever. So the clerks have historically played this role of being a kind of a giant records keeper for the 150,000 people that live in Schenectady County. We also do all kinds of other things like passports, United States passports. We administer the pistol permit process for people that have a gun, a gun permit. And we're the registry of like notaries and commissioner of deeds. So we have a lot of ministerial duties. So there's a good chance that most of your viewers probably have some connection to the county clerk's office in some way or fashion, and they may not even be aware of it, but oftentimes if they need a copy of a record or they're involved in a court action, chances are they really are going to be dealing with my office at least on some level.
Right. How long have you been the county clerk, John?
I've been the county clerk since May of 1994, so I'm in my, almost 18th year of it, and I was appointed by the first Governor Cuomo back in the 90s, and it's a job I enjoy a lot. I've learned a lot. My previous background was I was involved as the receiver of taxes in the town of Rotterdam, so I dealt with kind of real property tax matters. I spent 9 years in town government before.
You were a young man, though, when you started. How old were you when you first served in public office?
Well, I was elected to the school board when I was 18, so now that was 36 years ago, and I had dark hair then, so, but was always interested in public service issues and have been fortunate enough to be involved in government for a long time, and it's something I really enjoy. I like helping people. I like working with other people in government. I find that they do a really professional job and they meet a lot of people's needs, and a lot of times local political people will get bad raps or whatever, but my experience has been all parties that people have acted really very professional, and they really do have the best interests of the people's in their hearts, and I think they work under some extraordinarily difficult situations sometimes. So.
I want to ask you what's new, the things that affect our viewers out there, being that our show is Impact. How does the county clerk's office impact the public and the viewing audience? But before I do that, and I know you have some new programs you're going to tell us about, you told me a cute story since we're broadcasting right here at Proctors Arts Center in Schenectady, New York, at Open Stage Media. you made up a special license plate with the Proctor's name on it. Could you tell me about that? It was a cute story.
Yeah, this was back in the mid-90s. Victor Borga was a performer that had played at Proctor's really back to the vaudevillian days, and he had agreed to help us promote a custom license plate for the Proctors Theater. It has their logo on it, and it says Historic Schenectady. So we got the opportunity to meet him in the back room before the performance, and Mr. Borga at that point in time, he's now deceased, was in his late 80s, if not early 90s, and I said to him, geez, how many times have you played the Proctors Theater? And he said, John, I don't really care. I just want to make sure this isn't my last time. And he was quite a classic pianist that
Yes.
melded comedy in there. He was absolutely hysterical. I thought originally going into it, it might be a really kind of like dated performance that only older people would enjoy, but boy, he had current stuff, and he was just a tremendous guy.
Still had it. Yep,
so-
cute story.
so-
So what's new? You have some new programs in the county clerk's office you told us about, so maybe you could share that with the public today.
Okay, we have 3 new programs that we've unveiled in the last 5 or 6 months that we're trying to get the word out about. The first program I want to talk about is we've created a program called the Return the Favor. It's a program for our veterans and people who are currently serving in the military. And what we've done is we've worked with the Chamber of Commerce and other associated businesses in Schenectady County that if they come into the clerk's office, they're given a veteran's identification card. It has their picture and signature on it. And they are awarded discounts on goods or services or products that these businesses that have voluntarily signed up to do this, which is, it's a wonderful way to say thank you to our veterans. And some of these businesses will give off 10, 15, 20% discount on that. It's all a voluntary thing. Our role in it is essentially to identify who is a veteran so they can get the card.
How do they prove that, John?
Well, they bring in a copy of their DD-214, which is their veterans discharge papers. And what we actually do is we optically scan them into our computer system, and that way it's on permanent preservation for all time. So if somebody needed it, if God forbid they lost it or it got destroyed in a fire or whatever, we would have the ability of producing a new one. So it's been a really interesting experience because we have a lot of guys dating back to the World War II vets come in, and they're wonderful. They tell you stories about their service, and it's amazing what some people went through, especially as really young people. And when you start hearing some of these World War II stories, it's kind of an unbelievable process.
They're a vanishing breed because a lot of these
They are.
servicemen and women are in their 80s and 90s
Right,
now.
right, they
serving
are.
World War
So,
II.
so, and it's Schenectady County's way of trying to say thank you for people that have served. We have many people from Vietnam, and we have newer veterans. There's a whole new crop of veterans from Afghanistan and Iraq.
Right.
We've also expanded the program in our county, which is a little broader than a lot of other counties, that we allow existing servicemen in the reserves and other things to come into our office and take advantage of the program. So we feel pretty proud about that. So we're pleased that we're trying to do something to benefit our veterans.
That's great.
They've certainly earned it with their service to the country, and it's a program that we've enjoyed administering, and we really think it's doing some good. We've had some good feedback on it.
How many
So-
people have signed up so far? Do you have an idea?
Yeah, we've had over 400 vets
Really?
from the county come in, so
that's
we've
good.
been very pleased about that.
That's
So,
very
and
good.
the word is kind of getting out there that the program exists. So
Mm-hmm.
we have them come in almost every day, and it really takes 3 minutes to scan the paperwork and issue a card to them. We take a photograph, and
Mm-hmm.
they walk out of the building with a plastic card that identifies them as a veteran. So.
Right, so a veteran can just bring his or her DD-214 in
Yep.
to the county clerk's office. Not just yours, but any county clerk office in
Um,
New York State? Or is
Well,
it-
most of them
is
are
it-
establishing these programs.
So they're
So
dropping
we're-
one at a time.
Right,
yeah.
we're getting,
Okay.
Saratoga County has one, I believe Albany County started one, and I
Right.
believe Rensselaer County's looking at one. I do think someday it's going to be a statewide program, but for the time being, we were one of the first counties to get involved in it,
Great.
and like I say, we're excited about
Leading
it. It's
edge. What's the other new program? There's a couple others. You talked about the license plates and another one.
Yeah, we started a program where we recognize that DMV is open a certain amount of hours, and one of the things we do as county clerk is run the State Department of Motor Vehicles. We're like the local franchise for the State Department. So we run the Schenectady DMV down at 267 State Street. Well, we've found a number of people that said that they had a hard time getting to us during the day because of their work schedule or whatever. So we've started a program where we've essentially put a drop box, a mailbox in the back in the parking lot that allows people to surrender their license plates. And they can do this 24 hours, 7 days a week. And what happens is we process it the next business day and such. So for people that really have a hard time getting to us, we've always had kind of the daytime ability. We have these slots in the front and the back of the building where you can just throw your plates in and we mail you a receipt. But we recognize that more and more it's harder work-wise, and people are working multiple jobs, that it's hard to get to the DMV. So we've created this box that allows people to do some of their business, at least a piece of their business.
Well,
So-
we're running out of time, so we'll catch up with you again. Maybe you can come back and visit and tell us about more programs and what's new at the county clerk's office. But it's a brief time that we had to spend together. I appreciate you coming, John, and we hope that you come back and visit us again. We've been visiting with John Woodward, the Schenectady County Clerk. Thanks for watching.
Thank you.
John.
Thank you.
So Nick, that was your interview with John Woodward, the Schenectady County Clerk,
Yes.
and he's so down to earth despite the fact that he's in such an important position, and that's something very interesting for me to see.
Yeah, very busy too. It's amazing all the things that the county clerk does.
Yeah.
Not just motor vehicles, but the clerk of the court, all the court records and documents and land records.
Right.
Very interesting.
Right.
Yeah. Yep.
And so what is up next?
What is up next? Oh, I know what's up next. Our roving reporters, Huldah and Deshanta.
Right, and
they're
they're
gonna
going to be
be-
talking about the clerk's office, right?
They'll be asking questions as a follow-up
Yeah.
to the county clerk's issue.
Right.
And they'll be interviewing people on the street, our
Right.
roving reporters,
Roving reporters.
Huldah and Deshanta. Let's watch.